Cheers. Salud.
I'm your host, V, an Aries mom juggling dental tools and real estate deals.
And I'm your co-host C. I'm a Cancer with a heart as nourishing as my skincare routine. Steeped in style, steered by inspiration.
Pouring the perfect blend of fashion, skincare, reviews, love, and motivation.
Tune into the Tuesday Tea with V podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave us some love.
Today, our episode is going to be on attachment styles in love. I think we mentioned it, like a reintroduction. You know, like my memories always pop up. You know how I always like repost memories. And I look at them now and I'm like, oh my God, like so much has changed since then. Like, you know, I know I'm definitely not like the same person. But for this one, we're going to start our episode today with, so what did you have as your first attachment? So there's different here. We did an episode before attachment styles.
Love languages.
Love languages.
So that's funny that you said that because I have to find, always scrolling through social media. So I was on TikTok and there was this girl, and her father is either a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And she had said, so many people are always talking about love languages. And she said her father said as a psychiatrist or psychologist that love languages are fine, but when it comes to relationships, especially love relationships, your attachment styles are more important than your love language. And it made sense.
Yeah. Well, this was from one of our followers, like a good friend of mine. When we were doing our love languages episode, she actually requested like an attachment style episode, and I didn't really know much about it. I'm like, what is this that she's talking about? And I started like doing some research on it. I'm like, oh wow, okay, this makes a lot of sense, and I think is a little more relatable than like the love languages, because well, it's like love language is like how you want to receive love, and I think like the attachment styles are more of like how you perceive and give it. You know, right? Like that, it's more of that. So I think it's like also very important.
Definitely.
So we did a little bit of research on this, probably like, I want to say over 2 months ago. Yeah. And we've been waiting to record this. So.
But I have heard attachment styles, you know, it's a big topic that's on social media, especially TikTok. So I did hear about all types of attachment styles and people perceive it in so many different ways. I never really like, you know, researched it or looked, you know, more into it. Just was just something that I would just see and listen to.
Yeah. Did you have secure attachment as your first one?
Yes.
Secure attachment is probably the first one on there because it is
the one that everyone tries to be and wants to be.
Which should be expected from people. Which is I had people with a secure attachment style tend to have a positive outlook on themselves and their relationship. They're able to give and receive emotional support and are comfortable with intimacy, which is, you know, normal relationship.
And I had like bullet points. It's like confident, self-worth, accepts support, ability to self-reflect, and manages emotions well. Yeah. So that's what I have.
Yeah, that's secure. Like perfect. Yeah. I like how I had like the definition and you have like the bullet points. So, you know, that's not easy for everyone. Me just looking at that, like yours is easier to look at because you have the bullet points. I would say like the confident is easy, the self-worth, accepts support. That's definitely something that like I've always had a problem with, but I'm definitely getting better at. All those things are, it sounds simple, it sounds easy, but it's not, especially when you contribute it to a relationship, not just yourself and but like with someone else.
And then also with a relationship, sometimes they pull other attachment styles, I feel, out of you. For instance, you feel like we're both very confident, but sometimes, well, not at this age. I think at this age, I don't think anybody can make us feel unconfident. But at a younger age, you could be with somebody that will make you feel like, you know, you start to question your confidence or even yourself, like your self-worth.
Yeah, or even being in like a toxic or like an abusive relationship, it will chip away at your confidence. Like that'll change. So yeah, that's definitely an issue depending on who you're with and your relationship with the person.
Exactly. So what do you have as your
The next one I had anxious attachment. So the anxious attachment is people with an anxious attachment style are preoccupied with relationships and fear of abandonment. They have a negative view of themselves and crave intimacy, but are worried that the others won't reciprocate their feelings.
I'm clingy, highly emotional, seeks reassurance, obsessive behavior, and reliance on others.
Yeah.
So for me, I do have a little bit more of the anxious, because I do tend to get clingy, but only once we've established a relationship. So I'm more like, I guess, clingy in the fact of I like to be around you, like what I said with the love languages, more of quality time. So I just like that closeness. I like to be around you. I like to know about your day. But that's not until later on when I know that we're
A thing.
that actually a couple, or you're heading into that direction, or even headed into the direction of living together, and just, it's not in the beginning. Then a little bit of the seeking reassurance. Like, I just want to know, I like for it to be, I don't like the gray area. I like for it to be like, are we together or are we not together?
I hate that. That's something that sucks with dating. It's like, some people, men, women, whatever your thing is, like, they'll make it so clear, like, they want you to be there. Granted, it all takes time. You should, like, date the person a little bit.
Definitely.
But when you're, like, dating for so long, and then you're like, okay, like, are we, aren't we? That is, like, the worst. Like, the worst. And I personally think, like, if that's what's going on, then at that point, it's like, all right, you don't want to be strung along. So speak up and say something like, hey, we've been doing this for XYZ. If that's what you want to continue doing, fine. If that's what you want to do. If not, just speak up. Don't waste your time. Don't waste time.
But some people are selfish and they don't want to speak up because they want to be enjoying the whatever it is that you're giving them. So they're not gonna string you along. They're not gonna, and that's, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, are we or aren't we? Like, don't play games. And
Yeah.
Don't
Which is
play games.
huge in, like, the dating culture
right now, for real.
Thank God I'm older. I don't know. I'm just so
I feel
glad.
sorry for the younger generation.
It's terrible.
Because at this age, we know what we want and what we're looking for.
Yeah. We were, like, on point with that. It is, I promise, ladies, I know nowadays the world makes you feel like you need to stay young or keep your youth and all this blah, 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 blah. Getting older and being secure in who you are as a woman is the best liberating feeling ever. I can promise you that. So don't be afraid. I just watched a movie last night. God help me. I wish I can get those, like, 2 hours of my life back. Called, I don't know if you've heard of it, The Substance.
No.
It's a new movie with Demi Moore that's out. Demi Moore, I mean, she's sick. I had to look up her age after I watched this because she looked absolutely incredible. I always thought she was so beautiful. She's 61, and it's really about, to just sum it up quickly, it's about a woman who is like this superstar, this beautiful woman, and she stops landing roles in movies and gigs because she's older, and they tell her, like, you're old, like, that's enough, you're, like, over 50,
Kinda
you're
sounds
done.
like something that she, like, a life thing, like, actually, that she's going through.
So she winds up, like, turning to, like, this medicine, I guess if you can call it, to where it's going to keep her youth or give her, like, this youthful body. And
so they call it medicine.
Creepy. Like, it starts off good because you're like, oh, okay, like, it's so relatable in today's society. But it goes into such a weird place that it was a bit much for my personal liking. I
probably would like it. She does it when stuff starts to go.
It's like horror. Like,
no, I don't like horror. No.
It ends, like, with horror. It's very bizarre. I don't know. I've heard everyone told me how good it was. I watched it and I was sitting there last night like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Like with Blink Twice. She was
I hated that.
To me, I liked it. So when it starts to get a little bit weird, I do like that type of show or movie. But when it's, like, scary, no, I don't like to be on the edge like that. My emotions all over the place.
Like, it's a lot of, like, gore and blood and stuff like that. I don't mind that part, but just, like,
it sounds like it kind of touches on actual real life. Like when you said about like medicine to stay young and stuff, you hear all kinds of crazy stuff in the world of like celebrities and stuff of the things that they kind of like get into.
Yeah, like sacral,
like to stay young and dressing your children in the gender that they're not.
Yeah.
To like get these superpowers. So I guess they're kind of like touching on stuff that really
see, I can't get down.
Me neither.
I think you're crazy. When I watched that movie last night, one of the first thoughts in my head were, who the fuck wrote this movie?
Exactly.
Who thought of this? Because I'm truly concerned about your well-being. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but it was very bizarre.
And that's so funny because I think that
I thought it was nightmares.
When it comes to certain shows, like you're like, who thought of this?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck are you going through in your life?
It was weird. I don't know.
For you to think this.
I guess you could like try just to see what it's about.
I'll probably like look at it a little bit.
Substance. Yeah, but Demi Moore looks absolutely incredible.
She always has. Yeah. She's always kept up
so beautiful.
Her youth and her appearance.
Mm-hmm. But as far as like that anxious, I think that for me, that like afraid of being abandoned, that's like the most relatable part of me. Mm-hmm. Like, so I remember like in my younger years, I really wouldn't, anytime things got really close to like committing and like settling down, I would always abandon them so that I didn't get abandoned. And that had to do with like a lot of trauma from like my younger years, and I had to go to therapy and deal with that. I think we talked about those things like in the beginning of our episode. So
that's another thing we'll probably retouch when we do the revamp.
Yeah, but it's great. That's why I think therapy and talking through things and recognizing what makes you feel, those things, or what makes you like that in relationships is so very important, so that you can address them, you can deal with them, and that so that you don't get to that point again, in your other relationships.
And they're able to help other people not feel ashamed
for feeling that,
for feeling that, or needing the help that they need to, look for or to seek.
To get past it, because everyone's dealing with something in their relationships, whether it's your personal or with yourself, with other people, like
your career,
life,
everything.
Like, Mm-hmm. And then I had, for the next one, avoidant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So people with an avoidant attachment tend to be independent and find emotional intimacy difficult. They may avoid the display of emotions and appear distant and cold.
Yes, I do have the word distant, unemotional, avoids closeness, emotionally dismissive, unwilling to ask for help. For me, with this one, I do get kind of distant. Sometimes I need my me time. Like when I'm feeling like over emotional, or we probably have gone through something that I need to sit back and reflect, I do distance myself so that way I don't make the situation worse than it is. So I do definitely take myself out of the equation and just sit with myself for a while. And so that way I can clearly have the conversation that we need to have in order to resolve whatever is going on.
Yeah. See, I feel like they make that seem like a bad thing, whereas like I think, I guess in that sense, it's a good thing. Yes. In another sense, it could be a bad thing, such as like I remember, in one of my previous relationships when I knew something was off or felt wrong, I would completely like detach myself. Mm-hmm. So completely turn off. I will not acknowledge you. I will not talk to you. I will like go silent. I will go cold, which, is definitely not a good thing. Yeah. Which is like a really bad thing. But that was also something that like, I didn't know that communicating and having to talk it out, but when when it's such a toxic cycle, you just like, knew it was easiest to shut off, because for me at that time, even communicating would have caused a bigger problem than I was already in. It was a relationship that just shouldn't have been in to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I had to like continuously turn off. And it's so refreshing after, when you can be in a relationship where it's like, okay, if something's off or a disagreement, or, you can each sense when something's off in each other, like, oh, I think he's mad about something or she's mad. when you can talk about it and it doesn't start an argument.
Oh my God,
so nice. It's like, it's so
Because a lot of
different.
times it's not.
And you realize you don't have to just shut off. Like, it's crazy.
It's not the person that's the problem. It's the situation that's the problem. And people have to realize that don't distance, don't turn yourself off from the person, because it's not them who you're mad at. It's the problem is the issue. And once you realize that, and you can openly communicate about it and not being like, I don't want to deal with this person anymore, because you can really love them. It's something that does really help the relationship to work better.
Yeah. Or sometimes, like in my case, you're just done, you're checked out, you're over it, and
But when you've gotten to that point, hopefully you've tried every avenue to make it work. But once you check out, it's for a reason.
Yeah,
like, it's just not supposed to be anymore.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me how, like, once you're done and you know it, you just know you're done, right? Like, would you say that that's something that happens gradually over time for a woman, or?
Definitely gradually.
Yeah.
Because we give so much.
Yeah. Which I think that's why men don't think that it really is, because it happens so many times. Like in a toxic relationship. Yeah. Normal relationships, I don't think you should be, breaking up, getting back.
And in a normal relationship, if he really took the time to get to know you, he'll know when something is wrong and something's off, where you're not slowly cutting yourself off. That's addressed right away. For a person that doesn't care about you and only cares about themselves, they don't realize when you're upset or slowly cutting them off or something's wrong. They just kind of like sweep it underneath the rug and just keep going, which is that's an unhealthy relationship. But as women, when we're really invested and we really care for that person, we just, sweep it under the rug this time. We just keep going to try to make it work, especially depending on what you've already invested into the relationship.
Yeah. Which is crazy, because then you're just wasting more time.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next one was disorganized.
Yes.
People with a disorganized attachment style may crave love and belonging, but also fear these things. They may settle into a pattern of seeking out love only to reject it repeatedly. That is one that I could say that I can't really relate to as much, which is nice. I mean, obviously, I think we all want love at the end of the day, right? But I definitely don't fear it,
No, I have no problem getting it.
I definitely
receiving
want it. Yeah, I definitely want it. I definitely want to give it. The only thing was, when I was younger, I never really wanted to get married, but not out of fear or anything like that. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. But
I would always look at it as a piece of paper. But now that I'm older, it's definitely something that I will do.
Yeah.
For me, I have disorganized / dismissive, I guess it's called. Both of those. So intense, the push-pull, unpredictable, difficulty in intimacy, and self-sabotage.
Oh, I feel like I know a person or people that like have those tendencies.
Yes,
I don't think that's one. Yeah, I don't think that's one for like really relatable to me. But definitely the intense, the push pull. That sounds like a narcissist. No,
yes, definitely.
Unpredictable. No, that's like seriously like unpredictable.
Difficult.
Difficult intimacy. That's the only thing. Like I wouldn't say that. I mean, not
anybody that
I don't know anyone.
With these traits, that's one of them. That's definitely. Not because we like men.
And, I mean, they've all been pretty.
They all like intimacy, no matter how bad it is.
And then self-sabotaging, definitely, for sure, 1,000. That's so crazy. Yeah, no wonder we can't.
Because we don't relate.
Yeah, not relatable. But that is one that's out there, and not saying like. They're all not good qualities in a love relationship, right? They're all things that have to be worked on. They're all things that you have to get through.
This is definitely
so
it's true.
I'm not saying like, oh, we don't have those. That's the worst one. No,
don't deal with that type of person. No, it's like this is something that that you might want to be with, and you feel like you can help them to overcome these things.
Yeah. Just like if you're one of them or whichever ones and it's. Different. You could even have a little bit of each one.
So that's what I was saying. So I had looked and I had researched it, and it says that most people do. Like we were, like as we were just sitting and we were picking and choosing one from each one. Most people have a mixture of them all.
Yeah.
So that's what I was, even with when we were talking about love languages, you don't just have one. You have, you know, if we would have did it this way with the love languages, we probably would have been able to pick a little bit from here and there from each love language that we have as well. Have to work on them
together. Yeah. To make it that secure
attachment style.
Yeah. And then there was an extra one on here that I had that was anxious ambivalent attachment, which is kind of the same thing as the anxious anyway. It just says people with an anxious ambivalent attachment style may have mixed feelings about the authenticity of the affection displayed towards them. So like you question,
do you really love me?
Is it real? Yeah. So I guess for someone who can really relate to that, they must have been burned like one too many times or have seen something before, and you kind of, then you have your guard up towards like anyone else that comes into your life, right? Because you've been through this one too many times before. So I don't think that's
love is starting to diminish.
I don't think that's something that like I could relate to either, but I could totally see how it could happen for someone. You know, you're in a relationship and a person, I don't know, like cheats on you or something like that. Then you get to another relationship and it happens again. Obviously, by like 3 or 4 times, you're going to be like, oh my God, does this always happen?
Is
you know,
it me?
And then so that would be like more an anxious, ambivalent attachment style that you would have to work through. So I hope this episode was helpful. I know my friend requested it, so we finally, I know she probably requested this like 6 months ago. I don't know. It's been a long time, and I told her we'd get to it. But it's finally here. We did it.
And it was a good topic. I feel like a lot of people look for this type of explanation and want to know what type of attachment styles that they do have, they need to work on, or that they feel about themselves.
Yeah, like have you guys, has anyone like even heard, because it was new for me, like when it was brought up to me, I was like, I don't know if I can do that, I don't really know much about it, and then I did some research. So I'm just wondering how many people out there actually like know about this, or maybe it's like a new like younger thing and we didn't really hear, because love languages, that was around, you know, that kind of started I think when we were younger. So
this was new for me too. I've heard it before, but like she said, it wasn't a thing for us growing up, like to have to know your first love's attachment style. You were like,
none of that, like whatever.
No clue.
Yeah. So I'm curious, you know, leave some comments. Let me know if you are aware of them, or you know what your thoughts are on it, and let us know. We're curious to see. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that it can notify you anytime we do upload videos. I am not even going to say like we're going to be consistent.
I know.
We're freaking terrible at being consistent.
Just look for us, we're here.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do hit the notification bell, you will know when we do post some new material or content out there. All right, guys. So take care, and we'll see you for the next episode. And we'll do a re-intro, because we have gotten so many. I mean, we started our channel with nothing, and we're up to like over 1,300 subscribers. So I definitely think a re-intro is
love, light,
warranted.
peace.
All right, take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.